So we're just going to close your eyes. I invite you just to get in a comfortable position. And if you can have your feet on the floor, that's great. If not, maybe you're lying down on a chair or the bed. And just begin by breathing deeply and gently through your belly. Breathe as deeply into your body as you can. And you can call forth your I am presence, your higher self, your guides, whatever words resonate with you. Call forth those frequencies and energies of support and clarity. We call forth those energy signatures of clarity to activate your body, your spirit, your mind, and at the DNA level, activating clarity. And I invite you now to connect with your soul essence. And the way that I do this is to ask questions to summon forth the soul essence within your being. And so you can ask yourself, how does it feel to activate my soul essence? How does it feel to activate my energy in my own body? How does it feel to activate this grid for Lovonya with my soul essence? And each one of you contributing to the creation of this grid with your soul essence, with your heart, with your soul mission. Bringing more and more of your essence and love into the Lovonya grid. We call forth the energy signatures of stability and security and prosperity, and we place those in the Lovonya grid. We create the Lovonya grid with prosperity, stability, security, clarity. And I invite you, whether you want to speak it out loud in your own space or to even unmute yourself if you feel called, to speak what you are putting into the grid. So to be clear, these are words that you are using to create the grid. So if you're feeling a lack of money, you're putting prosperity, you're creating the grid with prosperity. If you're feeling confused, you're creating the grid with clarity. If you're feeling distracted, you're creating the grid with grounding and focus. We're just going to call upon the energies of expansion and create the Lovonya grid with expansion, infinity, and allowing the information that flows through the grid to flow to each person, each being, each energy that needs those frequencies flowing through the grid. And each of you who say yes to this, you are now a node point within the grid, which means that you are an intersection where frequencies cross over to run through a new pathway. You call forth the energies of focus. And from the depths of our souls, feeling clear about what to focus on, about what step to take next. We're going to start populating the grid with energy signatures and codes and frequencies. And as we populate the grid, this also continues to create the grid. So we populate the grid with prosperity, clarity, soul guidance and direction, meaning obtaining your guidance and direction from your soul. You populate the grid with joy, fun, and play, lightheartedness, gratitude. You populate the grid with a clear, open voice, allowing you to speak your truth with love, allowing you to be clear and precise in your language, allowing you to convey your message with love, with clarity. We populate the grid with the Christed light frequencies. We populate the grid with sovereignty. Knowing who you are, knowing why you are here, knowing which service is for your highest good and the highest good of those whom you serve. I'm going to say that one again. Knowing which service you offer is for the highest good, for your soul mission, and for those whom you serve. And back to the theme of sovereignty. Knowing what you truly desire. Your desires are yours. They are generated from within you rather than adopting something that you've been told you should want. And you can be 17 or you can be 68. Age doesn't matter. Getting clear about what you desire. It's safe to have desires. It's safe to take action on your desires. And so we'll populate the grid with safety. Safety, stability, security, protection. Populate the grid with the divine mother, father, with the divine feminine, with the divine masculine. Providing a balanced polarity so that this grid is in some ways self-sustaining, but really fully sustained by the community, by the Lovonya community. And populate the grid with surrender to the highest good, with acceptance and allowing of the highest good. Surrender, we'll do that one again. Populating the grid with surrender to the highest good. We'll populate the grid with just the right amount of activation. Activating, we're going to install some smart technology so that whatever you need as an individual to be activated in, the grid and the energy finds its way to you through the grid. So it might be activating your DNA, it might be activating balance in your emotional field, it might be activating health in your body, whatever it is you need. We instruct the grid to send those frequencies and energy signatures to you. We activate the grid with health, longevity, well-being, for every layer and level of your being, for every aspect of your being in this dimension and beyond. We activate the grid with self-healing for the physical body, mental body, emotional bodies, subtle bodies, energy bodies, light bodies. Installing self-healing technology into the grid. And I'll give you a moment to place anything in the grid that you wish to place, whether you want to speak it out loud or in your heart, however you want to do it. We're going to activate the grid with self-worth and value. Value cultivation, so that you can cultivate your value and self-worth. Take a few deep breaths. And for those of you who say yes, understand that this is now your community grid. This is the light grid for Lovonya. So it's up to you to continue to nourish it, to put your love into it, to put your intentions into it. Just take 3 more deep breaths with me through your belly, solidifying this grid, asking for your guides and the frequencies that work with you to assist in keeping this grid alive and active with energy. Okay, so you can just wiggle your fingers and your toes, continue to breathe. And as you come back into the group space, we're just going to ground this grid into Mother Earth so that we just have a little bit more amplification and grounded support for Lovonya to flourish. When you feel ready, you can open your eyes. And I encourage and invite you, when you do something like this, it's important to be hydrated. If you need to nourish your body with food, for some of you, it might be really helpful to get out into nature and, just kind of ground this in and have it settle. What I've really provided here is an activation. So there's a lot more that can be done with this. But I've kind of help you set it up so that you guys can, take it and run with it as you desire.